this AMA, obviously, just to let you guys know mostly about like my vision about Holy Money, and obviously I've been asking when launch, when this, when that, but I wasn't even expecting this to blow up this fast. But my priority is obviously safety and everything, so that's basically what I've been focusing on. But do have a vision for the future. But I'm gonna go ahead and answer the first question where it says, "Will there be a pre-sale? And if so, how do we get in?" So no, there's not going to be a pre-sale. It's going to run like a regular Tomb Fork, so it's going to be Genesis pools, and then people will be pairing their liquidity with Grail, and then if you read the docs, you'll get more information. 6 hours after the Genesis pools, we're going to open up a Holy Grail farm to print more Holy, and obviously there's a certain cap there, and then we'll open up the actual missions for the other token for the boardroom and everything. No one else has really typed a question, so I guess you guys were probably surprised why I did this, but what steps have you taken to make us feel about the rug pull? Who is the team? The team is just me, honestly, when it really comes down to it. I did have some greedy people who were part of the team, so I ended up just doing this on my own, so it really is going to come down to getting people I trust in the community, in the Arbitrum community, to sign a multi-sig. And the only steps I can really take right now is really just rug doc, because I don't really have the funds for like an audit, for like a $7,000 audit or anything. So just do your due diligence. There's been a lot of Tomb Forks. There's been a lot of rug codes. I've sort of pointed one out, the one in Heart Tome. And just always manage your risk. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like to give financial advice, but you know what I mean? Always be wary of everything. If you're not confident in anything, then absolutely, like, I'm not doing my job right, then you know what I mean? You guys are free to do what you want with your money. Of course, I want to get that across. Is there any other questions? You guys can go ahead and type. Yeah, actually, this I'm actually very transparent about, and I don't mind telling it. So I'm a mechanical and civil engineer. Well, I used to be, but I've basically been in DeFi for about 4 years now, and I've basically been in like a lot of the NFT scenes, a lot of the narratives that move around. I've been in Arbitrum honestly since testnet in the summer of 2021. I remember when fees were like $6 to $10 back on Arbitrum, and when GMX migrated from Gambit from Binance Smart Chain to Arbitrum. So, like, I've been here for ages, and I've just been known well around the community, and I guess that's how I'm able to sort of like facilitate some of these partnerships with other people, with other projects. These other projects that I did work on, some of them included like Ripe Finance. I've made partnerships with Solid Lizard right now. I've worked with GMD. I have unfortunately obviously been caught in situations like you guys might have heard of Sugar Swap. I was a moderator there, and of course that situation didn't go well. Like, the guy had unfortunately rug pulled and didn't pay me or anything, and it was another situation where I'd put a lot of work in. And it's the same thing with another one called Wonderly Finance. So that's another reason why I'm a little wary about who I work with. What products will you serve? Long-term goal. So this is exactly why I made the AMA, and sort of the reason why I'm not rushed to launch or anything, because I know how Tomb Forks work. You know what I mean? I did a lot of them last year, and basically the whole thing is I'm more worried about what's going to happen when emissions end, because you guys, if you've read the docs, basically after 284 days, there's not going to be any more HXS printed from the farm. So what's going to keep the value of Holy up? I mean, what's going to keep the peg of Holy compared to a Grail? There needs to be something, obviously, to incentivize it. Now, this is where it comes down to, if some of you are aware of the Tomb Finance and stuff, they've done stuff like a V2, like a Life Chain and stuff like that. Base has done their own V2 and stuff. I'm personally not a fan of that. I think you should obviously stick to your goal, because there's a reason why these tokens were made, to be essentially a trading token for another token. So this way, if Holy was actually had a lot of liquidity, people would be more incentivized to log their Grail for X Grail, if you guys understand what I'm saying. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm very bullish on Camelot, because I've known them since last year on Phantom, and they did a fantastic job there. Just unfortunately, the chain had a bunch of issues, and then in June, obviously, the whole DeFi thing. But it's good to see them back. But one thing I want to reiterate is Camelot did come out in December, so a lot of these X Grail tokens that are locked haven't been unlocked. So this is an experiment. You know what I mean? Me even launching this is an experiment as well. We don't know the price of Grail. Like, you guys have obviously seen the price action. Yeah, you're an Excalibur too, so yeah, that's what I mean. It was a great product, so I like the team. I talked to them about this product, but I understand fully why they wouldn't endorse it because it's you know what I mean it's very high risk for them, and the idea for this, in my opinion, because I like the Camelot team, to have more X-Grail locked. If Holy has enough liquidity, yeah, I mean over, and I'm just gonna say hypothetically, I'm not trying to actually say this will happen, but let's say over $5 million liquidity, people be more inclined. Hey, I'll just buy some Holy and represent it as Grail. Essentially, how people were doing with Tome and Phantom and stuff. And if you're not familiar with those projects, I'm really sorry because it's the best way I can sort of explain it. But what my plan essentially is to actually have the treasury essentially buy out Grail or X Grail and have the community participate in launch pads through snapshots and everything. And I know the Trove launch and everything didn't go well, but I do think Camelot has a good vision. So I think we could either do something with the treasury where we have our own X Grail, have our own allocation, and it's almost like our own DAO where we're actually investing into it. I'd love to know people's thoughts about that because that was just something I was brainstorming, and I don't want to start this product without knowing what's going to happen when emissions end. Because if you guys know Harry from Tomb Finance, that's how he sort of ran himself into a hole. And I don't want the treasury to just constantly collect Grail because it will drain at the very end. Because at the very end, I want it to be Holy Grail LPs will be earning earning Grail tokens. So you'll be earning native Grail tokens. And that's essentially my idea. And to do that, I can't just do the regular Tomb Finance strategy. I was thinking about doing something whereas 10 to 20% of the treasury could be used towards like allocating maybe, I want to say safer funds, but it would probably even need to be a more DGen box strategy fund just to make sure that the protocol can actually pay out. And this is what I mean by this is like sort of very high risk, and it's an experiment, but it's just anything to support the Camelot team, and it seems like a fun project, and a lot of people wanted a Tomb Fork to begin with, so I'm happy to bring one. But yeah, because I had a lot of greedy developers and people on my team, I decided to kick them off, and I do have some great help right now. And I know it's taking me a little while to launch this, but I'm more focused on the contracts being bulletproof, me triple checking them, and making sure you guys don't get screwed over in Genesis or in the farms or anything like that. Because obviously that can happen with price action, but in terms of code, that needs to be normal, and that needs to be transparent, and that needs to be just straight up, honestly. And the same with the dev funds as well. And that's why I also want to get people reputable in the community to maybe sign a multi-sig in the future. But at the same time, I do want to get the ball rolling and everything because I know people want to get this launched, right? So that's essentially what I do have to say. I'm not sure if many of you read the Medium article. I did want to sort of incentivize bonds and make them sort of liquid to where you could redeem them early. So at point one, you could redeem 10,000 bonds, you get 1,000 tokens, so you'd lose 9,000. And the other rest would just be burned, and that would go up to 0.7 TWAP, and then at 30%, it would stay there until 1.01. That's an idea, you know what I mean? I just thought about that to make it liquid. Exactly, yeah, exactly, KK, that part right there. But this is also one thing, I don't want to promise anything that I can't do, you know what I mean? And I want to make sure I can do something before I can tell you guys, hey, I'm going to do this 100%. And that's sort of why I've been not exactly, you know what I mean? Telling you guys in announcements or making tweets or being bullish and all this stuff, because that's sort of what I don't like about projects. I want to be very transparent, let you guys know what's going on. And that's pretty much it. Like, I've seen these other Tomb Forks pop up. I've seen Blue Lobster and all this other stuff. And not to be rude, but I know what they're after. I mean, after a week, they're not there, you know what I mean? So that's not what I want to do. And basically my name's behind a lot of stuff, so that's the reason why I put my name behind this project. And stuff might have slowed me down, which isn't a big deal, but yeah, I'm not really too worried at all. Like I said, this project, when I do launch it, it'll be well. And if I run into any issues, I'll let you guys know. But at the moment, I'm not running into any issues. It's just I'm making sure everything's right. And I'm just also messing around with the front end and stuff, and just messaging other people, you know what I mean, double checking with them, just triple checking, you know what I mean? And that was the main point I wanted to get across because I think a lot of people didn't really get that from the announcement and like stuff I've been saying in general chat. Because I know I'm talking ahead of the future, but I can't start this project without thinking about the end of emissions. Because a lot of these projects, that's exactly what they did. They thought they'd worry about it later, and then essentially got screwed over just because of a huge exit liquidity, huge death spiral. And I'm not saying that can't happen. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Grail can't go to zero, and this will bring the project to zero. And that's all I'm saying. Do your due diligence. Be very careful. DeFi is very risky. This is even more risky than just DeFi itself. You know what I mean? And if you're not familiar with Tomb Forks, please, please, please just watch the video and FAQ and info, and just get familiarized with them. Ask me any questions. I'll ask. I don't mind just taking a break from coding to talk in Discord. I can do a million things at a time. If you guys do want to know, the only thing I'm doing right now is just facilitating partnerships with, and I'm open about it, with Solid Lizard, and that's just really it for me. But my priority is this project. So I don't officially work for the team there. I'm sort of like a business developer partner, but I do have a few calls this week, and that's sort of irrelevant, and I don't want to get off topic, but yeah, I am Canadian. Does it sound too obvious? Well, I mean, I'm pretty much doxxed at this point if you really wanted to actually find out. Yeah, I am from Ontario. So yeah, like that's the main thing. I've been really personally, me, I've been really busy the past few days, and I don't want to go and hire a developer because that just screams exploit, rug code, all this other, you know what I mean, garbage and stuff. So I'm getting help from some good people. I don't want to name drop or anything, but I can guarantee you some good people who can make this project go off really well. So that's my focus, and I understand. You know what I mean? I might lose Twitter followers, Discord might die down, but it's always the launch that's most important because people will always come back. And if people are saying anything in general chat, I can't really see. But yeah, that's essentially the gist of it. Will there be any opportunity for early adopters? If so, if yes, what? Any opportunity for early adopters? I mean, I can scream a lot of things like, oh, I can make an NFT and this, and that, but it's early adopters is hard to tell because it is Genesis pool, right? So, I mean, what's essentially early adopters? Is it people who didn't dump the tokens? Is it, you know, I mean, you'd have to go more in detail with that one, unfortunately, because I do understand what you're saying, but if you could put something in suggestions, and I suggest everyone to do this, please use the suggestions channel because it just helps me filter out all the other stuff from general. And I can just go in there, jot some notes down, and then actually discuss with someone if it's possible. Taking it slow is better. The pump and dump cheats. Sorry, got bored and then ate back in after, which left people who are here for the position better with like-minded people. I mean, that's not to say that won't happen. You know what I mean? That's happened with several share tokens. You know what I mean? They hit bottoms. There are bad actors in Tomb Forks. You know what I mean? That's why I make that. That's specifically why I want to make the Genesis supply low. Because when the boardroom prints, I want to make sure it's going to be printing for a lot of epochs. And yeah, like I can't say anything about price and stuff like that. Like I'm trying to do obviously my best with the math and how much is going to be printed and how much is going to be allocated. But like I'm saying, do your own due diligence. Anything can happen. Even the pet token can go to 7x and you can wake up and it could be 2x, right? It just weird things like that can happen, and that's how Tomb Forks work. But the idea is to bring it down to 1-to-1 and to make it very liquid so that more people will go ahead and they're more comfortable locking Grail because, hey, there's another token that essentially represents Grail or will go up like Grail does. It's like how Tomb did with Phantom. They messed up, unfortunately, I think, when they separated from Phantom. The most important thing is to have unique things to have being above peg. Absolutely. Buybacks, burn. Buybacks, absolutely. Burn, I like burns, and I'll be honest with you, they're just sort of a community thing. Like I personally, I'll absolutely do them, and that's what I want to do with the bonds. Is that if you buy 10K worth of bonds and then you redeem them at 10%, 9K of those bonds are just burned. They won't go into the developer wallet. They won't be redistributed. They're just essentially just gone, if you know what I mean. Unfortunately, with burns though, it doesn't actually help with increasing the price of the PEG token. No, Alex, thank you. I like that exactly what you said because that's exactly what I was saying to someone before. I am not doing any buybacks or burns with the treasury because that's just gonna burn that's just gonna burn the end of the missions. That's if you understand what I'm saying. It has to be done through stuff like farms like Solid Lizard, like Sterling, and I'm starting to name drop here, but you guys understand what I'm saying. Like Cyberswap, making partnerships. I understand fully how this works. You know what I mean? Other opportunities to farm, not just farming through holy money. You know what I mean? Even if we had a holy grail farm on Camelot, you know what I mean, if we potentially got that popular. I know I sound very bullish, but these are just possibilities. Just wait for announcements and wait for me to say anything before I actually confirm anything. I would love for all this to happen, but I don't want to promise anything fully. I just want to make this because I've been so inactive the past few days. I've been very busy, and that's just basically it. Focus on by building every time on PEG token. Yeah, that's just what it is. Because if the PEG token's there, then the share token's going to be there as well, and the boardroom's always going to print. And me personally, I'm putting the boardroom a bit lower because 4.5% I think is a bit high, and we don't know the price of Grail. Like I don't want to get outpriced by supply. You know, I want this to keep printing for a lot of epochs. And if I'm talking too fast for anyone who's not a native English speaker, I'm sorry. Oh, trust me, man. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Like I was but believe me when I say this, like that's definitely what's in mine right now. It's like that's in my notes, absolutely, because I know just the farm itself isn't gonna, do it on its own. So, I sort of name dropped earlier about who I'm sort of working with right now, and I could probably get us an opportunity there. And believe me, I have a lot of connections in the space, especially with Arbitrum. I shouldn't even have said that because it sort of sounds bullish and it sounds thing, but just to say, like I'm in talks with certain people and definitely they're aware of this. And another part is multi-peg with low APR and BR. I mean, multi-peg is not bad, but then you have to understand like the whole goal is Camelot. I'm bullish on Camelot. I'm bullish on their launch pad. I'm bullish on their decks. You know what I mean? Like I understand it's a tomb model, but it's just a bootstrap liquidity for thing. Yeah, no, sorry, yeah. So yeah, it's just a bootstrap liquidity. But I hope I got the general consensus across. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and ask in general. Tag me if for any reason I have my phone on me, and yeah, like I am still working day by day, but I don't want to screw anything up because yeah, I mean it's very easy to screw something up and have to restart and go over it again, and so I'm just taking my time with it. But believe me, like I definitely want to launch this, and it's going to be a good launch. It's going to be a smooth launch. But just understand it is Genesis pools, and there's going to be no liquidity for the actual PEG token. It'll launch like normal. We need also a lot of marketing. See, the thing with marketing is I'm always What the Fork and these stuff. I mean, I actually know the guys from What the Fork, so that isn't too big of a deal. Trust me, that's also on my list. Like, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. If you'd like, just make a list of the stuff that you like, and we could go through it juicy on suggestions. Oh, trust me, man. I have all that ready even beforehand. Hopefully, before launch, once the contracts are deployed. I mean, now I'm getting a little off topic, but I think Circus is focused on a different project to on Phantom. I'm a fan of them. I like Python, all of them, but they're welcome to come in if they'd like. But I'm not too sure what they're up to, unfortunately. But I would do wish them the best of luck. Yeah, but just in terms of the AMA, yeah. Yeah, I mean he's in the chat, right? So he's a good guy. But just give some suggestions, and he's also an investor too. He's not someone who's he's not a developer here as well. Like I know you guys see him in the Discord and you think, oh my god, for gaming's in here. Just keep in mind he's an investor as well, and it's as simple as that. Like he's a friend of mine, and that's just how it is. So like I appreciate you guys saying everything, but I'm just gonna end it here so I don't ramble on. And I really appreciate Boss Imp for recording this, And I'm really sorry for who just joined because we're about to end this. But hopefully someone could upload it and then trust me, man, I'm bullish too. But it's like you also got to keep in mind the price of Grail. And I'm being this to be honest with everyone. Camelot, and I'm saying this again, Camelot just launched in December, right? A lot of the tokens are locked. I mean, once June comes, we're gonna see the real price action. Right? But we don't know. Like there are tokens still buying and locking. That's sort of why I'm like that's almost why I'm sort of rushed to launch because I'm like I want to get some XP on the treasury to start growing it, right? But it's just to get everything under control. Yeah, all of DeFi is dangerous. Unfortunately, everyone's saying launch this time. This is the best time. This is the best time. This, and that. The best time is when I'm ready. In all honesty, regardless of price. And just for anyone in here, I do obviously want to launch this week. No worries. I know it's a short AMA, but just speaking is a lot better for me for typing because typing on VS Code has literally hurt my fingers. Like not literally, but if you guys know what I mean. Like I just can't be bothered. Grail is still up high from when early buyers logged. We need a bot that tracks large unlocks. Hey, that'd be nice, bro. I'd love that. The fact that I'm not rushing the launch makes me more bullish. I mean, man, people have been asking me for this for a while. And I just, I didn't expect the Discord to really blow up this much. That's really what it was. I was like, oh, I'll just get everything ready. And then, in my opinion, personally, like, I know someone said we need marketing, but I am personally happy with what we have. I think slow growth is better than big growth. And if people leave because they're impatient, they'll be back. And I'm telling you this from experience. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to end it right here. I hope everyone has a good day. I'm going to try and just keep working on this because I do have the rest of the day going. And I do have some help with some people and some more calls later with some other stuff. But like I said, this is my absolute priority. So just keep that in mind, guys. I was open with everything I said here, all the projects I've worked with. Even my name, like I've been using this name since I was 8 years old, if you really want to look into it. But ask me any questions in chat. But I'm going to go now, and I'm going to end the MA here. Have a good day, guys.